this thought came to me, and that is movies that you weren't allowed to watch, but you saw them anyway. And I gotta tell you, we had it was like there's pay-per-view channels, and there's like the one where it's like it's kind of naughty.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Showgirls when I was maybe 9.
Yeah.
It was because I was we watched Saturday Night Live. Comes on 11:30,
Mm-hmm.
ends at 1. And it was Saturday night, so no school the next day. So I was allowed to watch Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And then you're flipping the channels around. It's 1 o'clock. You go on pay-per-view, and all of a sudden there's this movie called Showgirls,
Yeah,
and
sure.
Elizabeth Perkins is in. Is it Perkins?
Saved by the Bell fame?
Berkeley. Elizabeth Berkley.
Yeah.
And I want to say Gina Gershon.
Were you aware when you were 9 years old how terribly acted that movie was?
I was more concerned about the nudity.
Yeah.
I was really looking at
Yeah.
the nudity. I remember when we were stay over at my house, there was a couple of times where we were like, let's watch this dirty movie. It's just weird.
It's so forbidden.
I can't imagine, doing that. Or
oh my God, kids today are so lucky. They don't. I mean, maybe not. I think there's something to say about the innocence of these two kids being up late.
We were pretty innocent.
Yeah, being up late and everybody else is asleep and being very, very sneaky. Now there's no excitement. There's no danger. You just get on the computer and you just type it in and you see it right there. There's nothing to it. When we were kids, you had to stay up until midnight or later and be sneaky and turn the TV low and giggle and look at the what you're not supposed to see.
So I got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Let's do the first one. What was the dirty movie you remember watching as a kid that you were like, wow, it kind of maybe blew your mind, or you're like, oh my God, it boobies or whatever. What was that movie? Like, come on, there's got to be one that you'll never forget because it's just right? No?
It wasn't a movie. It was how HBO and Skinemax have their softcore pornography.
Real sex?
Real sex shows like that.
Sex?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, there was HBO had an animated show, kind of around the same time that they had Spawn. Do you remember?
Okay.
And one of their shows was just loaded with just it was almost like an anime style, but I remember this one scene where these two characters have sex in it, and I don't know. If I close my eyes, I can still kind of see how it plays out. I don't know. It was very exciting to watch as a kid. But just stuff like that. I remember I was visiting my family in Connecticut, and we were all hanging out at my cousin's apartment, and it was late, and we were all sleeping in the living room because it was only a 1 or 2 bedroom, and there wasn't enough room. So we were just out there having a little summer party in the living room, and we were flipping through the channels, and they kept flipping past Skinemax, and it was playing some porno or something like that. But I could still remember the basic plot. It was about an older man and a younger man, and they were in love with the same woman, and she was sleeping with both of them, and they were fighting for her attention. But I kept remembering they would flip away I don't know if we should watch this, and I'd be like, no, put it back on. So
there's something about sex and nudity that is just something that as a kid it's just you unless I don't know what it is, unless you grow up with a really if your dad is a pastor or something like that, you probably weren't like this.
Yeah.
But just the thought of at least back then,
mm-hmm.
back in our day,
mm-hmm.
when it wasn't so easy to find nudity, the fact that you could possibly see a woman naked or a softcore sex scene. There was something about that, you know what I mean? Or a sex scene in a movie.
It completely drove us. I remember, I don't know if you were the friend that was with me, but we were looking in the woods, by your house or down by the end of that little dead end. We were in those woods, and we found ripped up porn magazine. We
definitely did that.
Yeah, it was me and you. Okay, so we found a little piece and oh, look at these boobs, look at these boobs.
Yeah, boobs. It's oh my God, boobs.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's
horny little boys.
You suck these things for however long
to
begin your life.
I think you miss it.
And then you kind of forget about the fact that you suck these things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're 9 or 10 years old. And you're
rediscover
oh my God, why do I like boobs so much now?
Yeah.
Why is it all about boobs? I didn't even care about the butt yet. I mean, Baby Got Back, I like that song. I was, young. didn't really understand. It wasn't until I was like a little bit older when I was like, oh, the butt, yeah, the butt.
Yeah.
It was boobs for a long time.
It was all about the boobs when I was.
It was
when I was
all
growing
about
up.
the boobs, and I was I was innocent about that though back then. I wasn't like staring at teachers' breasts or anything. I wasn't like I was just on TV or movies. You know, I actually thought about another movie, a Skinemax movie called The Naked Detective. The Naked Detective.
Say no more.
And
The
what
title
was great
says it
about
all.
this movie, what's great about this movie, like, I'm pretty sure I can't really remember the plot that well.
Yeah.
But what I do remember about this movie, it was on Cinemax. This detective goes to like this rich old man's house, and he's supposed to like something happens. I don't know. Like the man thinks like one of his like. Oh, here's it on IMDb.
You found it.
Low rent private dick Sam Drake is called on to identify which heir is trying to kill a wealthy old man. That's what I was trying to say. At the old gentleman's mansion, he encounters an assortment of beautiful women who in turn engage him in all sorts of unpredictable and zany sexual situations, spoofing the detective genre cliches. Now, I wasn't aware of the spoofs of the genre cliches, but I was definitely aware of, what was it called? The unpredictable and zany sexual situations. And by unpredictable and zany, really it's just cliche sex scenes. Like sex scenes in the shower, he's about to go to bed, and all of a sudden there's a woman in there, which is like, that became like my fantasy for the next like 10 years.
Just women
like,
appearing out of nowhere.
Yeah, like, you know, my mom would send you to bed, and you'd open up the bedroom, and you're like, is there a woman in here? No. Okay. I'm going to sleep then. Thinking about what woman could be in here, but it's not. You know what I mean? That was like kind of the thought back then. For every day almost, I was like, I hope there's like this beautiful woman just laying in my bed.
Oh, you must have been disappointed
like
so much as a 12-year-old.
What would I have done? I don't know.
So much disappointment.
Yeah. It's just that movie, for a little brief time, the movie kind of warped my brain for a little bit. Because there was just sex. Because I was watching it, it was like Saturday Night Live was on.
Yeah.
It's 1 o'clock. Turn on to Cinemax. And then, like, it was one of those movies where, like, I'm watching it and I have my thumb on the channel changer in case my mom or anybody came out. I change it really quick, yeah. A previous channel is the best invention on a remote. Because you're like, previous channel.
That's right. Oh, I'm just over here watching whatever.
I would deliberately pick a channel that would make sense for me to watch.
Yeah.
Then put it on the Cinemax, previous channel.
Cartoon Network or something.
Back to the normal thing. So you can put it on Cartoon Network, and there's like, you know, something on.
Yeah.
At 1 o'clock. But okay, so